up, guys? Otterpop here with another Patron request. So, I've actually had some people been requesting stuff lately on my Patreon because, you know, my Patron count has gone up a little bit lately, which is freaking awesome. Seriously, thank you to all my patrons who support my channel, all my Otterpups, all my Otterlings, and of course all my Sea Otters. I'll just put a list of them all up in the video itself. But seriously, thank you guys so much. And at the second tier, the Otterling tier, you have the ability to once a month, I've been debating about twice a month, but once a month for sure, be able to request a certain project, whether it's reacting to a certain video, a little art project that you'd like me to work on, that's basically kind of, you know, dedicated to you, stuff like that. And somebody did actually, this person who requested the reactions to the 2 puppet history videos that I've already done, also requested that I react to this, something called Vampair. It's like this musical thing. I still don't fully exactly know what it is, so I'm probably just going to go with it. I took a bit of a look at it. There are apparently 15 videos across this entire series, and they're relatively short. I mean, it says fan animated, so that usually indicates that they're going to be relatively short anyways. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to react to the Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and Chapter 3. I mean, technically the first 2 don't say chapter, but the rest of them do say, you know, chapter or part or episode. So I'm going to assume that these first 2 here are basically chapter slash episode slash part 1 and 2. So I'm going to do 3 of them, and I'm going to hopefully satisfy the patron's request. And I'm not really sure how I'm going to commentate exactly, but I am at least going to react to this for sure and sort of give some commentary or thoughts on it, is going to be my guess. Maybe more. Who knows? I don't know if I'm going to pause for these. I don't know what's going to happen exactly. I just know that it's fan animation and it's musical or music related. So let's go ahead. Let's get right into this. This first episode or chapter is called The Night. I will say I can be a little bit of a sucker for fan animations and animations that people do by themselves or in a team. Some of the multi-animator projects that occur. I don't mind them from time. I certainly can appreciate them. Like, I don't watch them on loop or anything like that, but I do appreciate them because this is people who, kind of like with VivziePop, they put so much time and effort into animating stories or music numbers or, you know, stuff like that. It's just really cool. And these people are not paid to do it necessarily. They do it because they want to. And which is kind of the same with me with a lot of my creative projects. So kudos to them. Anyways, I've been talking for long enough. And I keep bumping my desk with my chair. Stop doing that. So let's go ahead. Let's start this first one, The Night. What's my volume like? Ooh. Very nice art style. It's very clean. Nice transition. Okay. Interesting.
The dame is the wife whom I elude, the one to whom I should be right. Although forewarned by peers and kin, I always give in to the mind. But night, she calls me, she calls me, she calls me, she sways in her velvet dress.
What is this music?
Towards her
Is this
in
from
the
something?
dark, while the others rest, while the others rest.
Oh, she's visually shit. Oh, wow.
Heed the call, the time has come. Mother's come, she is the night. Come with me to the other side.
What is this music?
Girl in black, your bride. 'Cause the night she calls me, she calls me, she calls me, she sways
definitely personality with this guy. He's definitely got a lot of pizzazz and charisma. I can already think of a couple questions rolling around in my head. That's a very smooth animation, I gotta say. For its fast-paced nature.
Very strange to me, not her quiet, lonely streets, and draped in all their mystery, could be so sweet and comforting. But the night she calls me, she calls me, she calls me. She sways in her velvet dress, pulls me towards her in the dark, while the others rise.
Oh, wow. Okay, what? Wait a second. The Night by Voltaire. That sounds vaguely familiar. School of Design and Engineering. Oh, interesting. Okay, so hold up. Okay, so this song was created by, somebody else, hence, fan animation. Like, I wasn't entirely sure how it was a fan animation, but I'm guessing it's a fan animation of whatever music was in the background. I've heard of Voltaire, but I don't really know anything about them, and I don't really know anything about their style. Hold up, let me look real quick. I'm kind of curious now. Cuban-American musician, singer, and composer. Oh, his middle name is Voltaire. Hence, his music has strong roots and connections to European folk as well as other influences such as the goth scene. Many people claim it to be dark wave. Interesting. Oh, there's stuff about, steampunk stuff as well. Okay, okay. Alright, I still don't know necessarily a whole lot, but I do definitely have a better idea, I would think. Okay, that was definitely interesting. So, there was a lot that happened in that single little clip. What caught me immediately was the art style as well as the characters themselves. The characters are clearly distinguished, but it was also interesting because, for anybody watching this for the first time, they're just thrown right into it, and they're just thrown right into watching this female, human, regular, whatever character basically trying to get seduced or something by this vampire, and I will admit the twist ending was a little bit surprising. I'm not sure if either A, she was already a vampire to begin with and she just didn't want to let him know and she wanted to steal his power or staff or whatever, or she sort of became a vampire as soon as she claimed the staff for herself. I'm not entirely sure. It's probably one of those two, or it could be something completely different and random. I don't freaking know, but I'm thinking it's most likely one of those two possibilities. The art style caught my eye almost immediately as well. It was very simple, but there were definitely plenty of colors that popped as well, especially when it came to the vampire character. The human character a little bit less so, although when she did get into that dress, there was a little bit more color that was sort of popping out and standing out that made her character. But what also caught my eye was the animation style, especially during some of the fast-paced scenes. Like the dance scene, like I mentioned earlier when I was watching it, the animation was actually really fluid. And of course it's simple animation, so I mean it would be a lot easier than, say, detail and complex designs and colors and characters like, say in Has-Been Hotel or Hell of Boss, but the animation was very nice and very fluid. It looks lovely, I will say that. It really does look lovely. I think the only reason I never would have come across this is because I don't really know the artist or the song. If I did know the artist, the song, or the artist, the song, the fandom, or something like that, then I'd be more likely to see this. But that was really interesting. What also was interesting too is that there was so much character given to both individuals. The human character was shown initially to be very fearful and confused, but she at least showed that she was a little bit intelligent and was able to, trying to seduce the vampire instead in order to get away from him or eventually steal his tablet. What the frick ever. And of course, comes in Vampire, who's doing all the singing with quite the voice. I gotta say, this Voltaire individual, whoever he is, he has quite a voice. I will say that. It's not super smooth, but you can definitely hear a lot of smoothness as he was singing the various lyrics. I didn't necessarily hear a lot of vibrato, which is honestly something I do like to hear in a lot of, especially the male singers that I do like to listen to the songs of. I'm pretty sure he's definitely a tenor. He could even be pretty close to a baritone, but I'm not entirely sure. But definitely a tenor. And I can tell because as I'm listening to the notes, I'm thinking to myself, that actually sounds a little bit like a kind of note that I might be able to hit. Because I'm an alto. I actually do have the capability of reaching some pretty low registers when it comes to music, including some tenor notes. Not all tenor notes, but a few of them. Yeah, I think he definitely has an interesting voice, and the person who animated this, I gotta say, bravo to you. This was very well done. The animation was very fluid, and there's so much character in this short little skit alone. I actually did thoroughly enjoy it. I feel like if I actually knew the artist or the song, I might have enjoyed it a lot more, because that's just how my brain processes that kind of stuff. But regardless, I still did very much enjoy it. It's so interesting to see people like this just making animations because they can and because they want to. I really do envy animators. I sometimes wish I'd be able to do that, but I can barely do digital art as is. I mean, I can do it, but I cannot do digital art efficiently at all. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm going to watch this second chapter, episode, part, whatever, which is called The Land of the Dead. Okay, it's Voltaire also, so there's a very good possibility that all of these will have background music of Voltaire. I don't know for sure, but that's kind of my guess at this moment. We shall see. I'll check the third part once I actually get to that reaction.
The Minotaur's my butler, the Cyclops my valet. Centaur drives my chariot that takes me down the way.
Once again, the animation is very smooth.
I got a dozen zombie skeletons to walk me to my throne. In the land of the dead, heck boy ain't it grand. I'm the overlord of the underworld, 'cause I hold horror's hand. In the land of the dead, I'm dark side royalty. I'm far renowned in the underground, and you can't take that from me.
There's so much character in this individual just through the animation and lyrics.
Cerberus, my lapdog, as loyal as can be. My bed is made of skulls, I'm in the lap of luxury. I got a dragon's blood jacuzzi, the Gorgon think it's cool, and a seven-headed hydra living in my swimming pool.
How did this guy come up with these lyrics? This animation is so smooth. I can't get over that.
I'm dark side royalty. I'm far renowned in the underground, and you can't take that away from me. No, you can't take that from me.
Oh. Oh, there is more. Okay, I paused it and I was gonna talk, but then I realized there was a lot more. Oh. So this is tying in to the first episode. Oh. Okay, that is very interesting. So, this individual who's doing these animations, they are using songs from the same artist, is my guess, and they're managing to connect them and create a story of some kind. I mean, that kind of makes sense, since this guy clearly has very similar styles. Also, the fact that he has a song about the land of the dead, I did see that he was Cuban-American, and Dia de los Muertos is very, very important and popular amongst the Latino community from both, like, you know, the Caribbean, Mexico, and from Central America. So I'm not at all surprised, based on this guy's or nationality, that he would probably come up with a song like this, especially given his style, I guess? I don't know much about his style, I just know enough from what I've listened to and what I've read of the slightest bit about, but this is really interesting. Once again, the animation was super fluid throughout this entire little short. And what gets me even more is that there's a connected story amongst it, which honestly excites me more than anything, because I love stories. I love interconnectedness. I love complexities and tie-ins and, you know, stuff that's actually kind of thought out a little bit. So this person probably took multiple songs from the same artist and basically tried to figure out a way to animate and weave an entire story into it. And I find that very creative. That is pretty freaking cool. And once again, I'm going to ask, the guy who originally created and sang the song, how in the world did he come up with this kind of song and those specific lyrics, each of which was animated like almost perfectly? But I don't friggin' know. But this character has character. It's very plainly obvious. Alright, let's do one more. And chapter 3 is literally called it's chapter 3 Resurrection. Okay, same guy? Same guy. Oh. It doesn't, wait. Is there not a copyrighted song? Is this not a song, or? Okay, hold up, I need to figure out, okay, hold up, I need to listen. No, there is a song. Might not be copyrighted, though.
Look inside.
Oh no!
Look inside your tiny mind and look a bit harder.
Not the same artist at all.
'Cause we're so uninspired, so sick and tired.
He looks so confused.
Of all the hatred you harbor. So you say it's not okay to be gay.
Oh, now
I
she's
think
singing.
You're just evil. You're just some racist who can't tie my laces. Your point of view is medieval.
I kind of know the song. Okay. Interesting.
Do you get a little kick out of being small-minded? You want to be like your
Oh my
father,
gosh,
it's
that
approval
pouting.
you're after. Well, that's not how you find it. Do you really enjoy living a life that's so hateful? 'Cause there's a hole where your soul should be. You're losing control of it, and it's really distasteful.
That was kind of pretty. Wow. That animation.
You say you think we need to go to war. Well, you're already in one. 'Cause it's people like you that need to get slew.
Okay.
No one wants your opinion.
yawning a bunch today. It says to be continued. Okay then. So this was interesting. So basically, she resurrected him so that she could just kick him out? Is that what just happened? Like, was it out of spite? Also, it was interesting that the formula was turned on its head, and, you know, he's always been the one singing and jolly and in control, and it's completely flipped around because now she is. Which, I don't know. I mean, I guess the fact that we haven't known these characters for very long at all, and they only have stories through song, is part of it, for sure. I feel like if we'd known the characters a little bit longer, maybe for a few more episodes or chapters, then maybe the whole formula switching wouldn't have been so wonky and drastic and just kind of out of place almost. Because there are only there's only technically one episode chapter where the two of them are actually together, and then one where it's just basically him. There's only been one very short episode with the two of them together, and suddenly it introduces this new concept of, no, it's the whole idea concept is actually flipped around, which I find a little odd as a storyteller. I mean, I'm sure if this is an animator doing this over months of thought, then they wouldn't necessarily be able to see it as much, but in terms of, you know, the general final product, I feel like something like this just happened a little too soon for my taste. That's at least story-wise, though. The animation was still good. The only place it was a little bit wonky was with the lip work. It looks a little bit janky at times, and I don't know, it didn't quite fit like the rest of the smooth animation that I have seen throughout the previous two episodes, as well as part of this episode. At least when it comes to general movement. When it comes to general movement and lighting and some shadows and dances, and when those large bird gargoyle things were coming to life, like the animation was very, very smooth, and it was very pleasing to the eye. And even when the male vampire character was singing in the first two songs, even that was a little bit smooth, and that didn't look quite weird with his lip sync. But for some reason, with her, it looked a little weird. It didn't look like it flowed very well. But, okay. So I guess I was incorrect about the presence of a certain artist throughout the entirety of the series. It could be that he only gets Voltaire songs, and if she ever sings again, which is entirely possible at this point since she's already done it in the third episode, it's possible she may have her own artist to sing songs to, or maybe they're both going to have variations of different artists. I'm not entirely sure. There are a lot of possibilities that could definitely happen with something like this. So I definitely say, of these three, the third was probably my least favorite, because it didn't flow quite as well as some of the others, and I don't know, I wasn't expecting it, and a little bit of a personal bias, I don't really care for that song. I know it, but I really don't care. It was kind of funny with some of the animations that were occurring, but in terms of the song in general, I don't care for it. I really don't. The first episode was probably my favorite. It's where the story seemed most interesting. There was a fascinating introduction, and it introduces viewers to the smooth animation and the interesting characters, really, and the colors as well. Colors are kind of a big thing for me. Blues, purples, and some reds tend to be some of my favorite colors, and there's definitely a lot of those colors. Namely the red and some violets as well. But yeah, that is a little bit interesting. And again, the art style is very clean. It's pretty nice. It probably works the best with, you know, some of the fast-paced animation that does happen on occasion throughout each of these episodes. But yes, first episode was definitely my favorite. Third was definitely my least favorite. I didn't care for that one quite as much. It was a little bit humorous, but the rest of it was kind of just, it was okay. It was okay. Okay, interesting. So I hope the patron who requested this is happy with me reacting to 3 of these chapters, episodes, parts, whatever. And yeah, I'm probably gonna have to end it there. But that was still very interesting. It was really interesting. Maybe I'll look up Voltaire in the future. I'm not entirely sure. I might not have time to do it tonight, but it was still very interesting. Thank you for suggesting that to me, and I do hope you enjoy this reaction. As for everybody else, of course, I hope you enjoy the reaction as well. But I'm gonna tap out for now. So thank you all for watching, and do check out this individual's channel. I'll probably link it in the end screen, as well as down in the description below, along with all the original video links. So thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as usual, until the next video, guys, check you laters.